So adventurers, the next morning comes. You hear the chickens clucking and the roosters yawking. Man, somebody's got a damn rooster in my neighborhood. I didn't think that you could have a fucking rooster in a residential area, but I hear that son of a bitch. Now that I got my windows open, I can really hear that goddamn thing clucking every morning for probably the first couple of hours. Oh, man, I just want to shoot it with my AR-15. Get some good target practice with it. See if my laser is working from 100 yards or 200 yards. It's a .223 caliber, so I'm sure it has some distance to it. It's supposed to.
I think that'll take out a chicken. Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm sure it would. That's if I hit it. The range that I go to is only 100-foot maximum, so I haven't shot that thing past 100 feet. So I'm glad I bought it when I did. Man, I got a couple thousand free rounds with it. I almost don't even want to pull the trigger on it anymore because it's like 50 cents or 40 cents every time you pull the trigger on it now. A .223 ammo is ridiculous. I'm glad I haven't shot it that much. So, all right, enough about AR-15s. A beautiful weapon.
Wait for the zombies, man. Then you'll get them all.
Yeah. I got my son. My son's birthday was on the 9th this month, and I bought him a 9mm, and he was like, "Oh man, I can't believe." He goes, "This is awesome, Dad." So he's gone to the gun range with his friends at work a couple of times. So he's been going out and taking his 9mm. I said, "You don't go anywhere but that range with that thing." And he goes, "I ain't stupid." I said, "Well, I don't want any of your friends trying to talk you into going into the woods or something and shooting that thing, because you're going to get into a lot of trouble if you get caught." So, because we have some really pretty stiff ordinances here in the city that I live in. So
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So, all right. Sorry about that, everybody. Had to go do that. So the next morning comes, adventurers. Seems like everybody's kind of milling around town. See some of the farmers out there with their wash buckets doing the clothes and their skivvies and hanging up their clothes, drying them on the palisades around the town. And there's actually quite a few horses from the farmsteads. There's probably I'd say at least a couple dozen horses or so. They're kind of tied up around the different buildings of the town and whatnot. That's expensive too, West.
We'll wake up and check on the guards that were out on duty last night, see if they saw anything.
Nice time.
And if nothing else, I'll spend the day training whoever wants to train.
I would be willing to offer up some archery lessons.
So will Malachi.
Jesus. Oh. I heard about you. I'm not taking any goddamn archery lessons from you, pal. Where's that guy that killed Matilda the cow? Old Bessie the cow.
I'm out of the archery lesson business. I've hung up my shingle there. But I will go in the tavern here and check to make sure none of those supplies went missing.
No. You're good to go. He says that's why he put him here, Ragnar. As you see Ragnar, he's having sausages for breakfast. He goes, "We forgot to eat the sausages last night."
Oh, save an extra serving for Shumgra.
Old Abzer says that at least Sarpy is a better archer than Malachi, though.
My first instruction to the troops is, if you ever see these guys aiming towards you, get the hell out of the way. Just run.
Right.
And I mean towards you, like in your general direction, within 50 feet of you.
Yeah. Well, there's all of the proprietors have their shops open here, so you guys can go around and kind of explore around Parnast if you'd like to do that.
I already picked up things that I needed or wanted. You guys want to go?
Totally up to you, adventurers.
Want to go talk to Silas for a while?
What was that, Malachi?
You guys want to go talk to Silas for a while?
Works for me.
Yeah,
Wouldn't mind talking to that priestess as well. See if things are going well. I know I thought she traveled a little bit, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the priestess then.
Yeah, so, you know, when you guys, especially when you go to the tavern in the morning, Sarpy, you actually see, give me a perception check as you're coming up to the tavern. Wow, really nice, really nice. Something kind of caught your eye when you were getting there. The back door of the actual Golden Tankard was open, so you kind of checked it out. But Tove was actually exiting the back door of the tavern, and he says, I'm off on my journey. And he had some pieces of bread and stuff in his hand, and he was wrapping up what appeared to be some sausages in a handkerchief. But he goes, he actually gets on a horse and kind of darts off into the forest over to the west. But the supplies are okay. Now, seems like you guys wanted to go over to the herbalist, and you wanted to see old Silva. Well, Silas, I'm sorry, Silas? Silva.
Yeah, see if they've had any trouble or know of any of the troubles that are going on around town. Or on the outskirts of town, actually.
No. Silas has got the herbalist store open, and it seems like he still has the same stuff that's for sale.
Just can't get out of town, huh?
He says, no, I'm still trying to sell this damn place. He says, are you interested? He goes, I'm looking to sell.
What's it going for?
I don't know. What do you think a small little 40 by 40 building's worth? I'd figure probably at least a couple thousand. Yeah, it'd probably be better than, you know, with a little bit of love and a little bit of coin. You could probably turn this place into a nice little place to sleep at night.
Well, I don't like to stay in one place too long.
Yeah, so what brings you here? He says,
Well,
are you looking
for
anything? What would you like? Yeah, what was that for, Malachi? Did you get any use out of that stuff that you bought last time you were here?
Yeah, I gotta tell you that Silas's wake-up sauce is amazing. Let Jemgra here tell you.
Yeah, you know what? Since the last time that you've been here, I actually found my wife's recipe to make this stuff. So now I've actually perfected my skills enough. My wife, before she passed, she taught me a little bit about the basics of alchemy and what components to put in, and she showed me how to use the mortar and pestle and stuff, and the measurement tools and stuff. And I've actually been making my wife's wake up sauce, and it's actually a pretty good seller. There's a lot of drinkers here in Parnast. He says I've actually go through probably about 12 bottles a week. Well, 12 pairs of bottles a week. So, you know, you figure I'm almost on the verge of maybe just selling nothing but that, and then maybe marketing it and sending it to other major towns and stuff. Like, could you just imagine how many people would love to have that in Waterdeep? or in Neverwinter or in Baldur's Gate with the 50 taverns that they have in those big cities, oh man, I would be rich.
Yeah, this stuff's great.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hire some employees if you want us to keep making this stuff.
Well, it's I'm telling you, this stuff sells like water. It's like it's
don't have any
almost
of
a
that.
necessity here.
You don't have any of that for sale, do you?
I've got 2 bottles left. I do have 2 bottles left. And in fact, I went out this morning to grab some more herbs from my wife's garden because, as you guys are walking up to the herbalist's shack, there's a wooden fence around the building, and you can just see herbs just growing. It's like it's not even taken care of. All this shit is just growing wild back there. And he said that he was going to go ahead and pick some herbs and make some more of his wife's wake-up sauce. But he said that, he says, oh, and also for you guys, it'll be 10 gold for 2 bottles of the wake-up sauce. And I've only got 2 bottles left. And you can actually see on his little shelf there, he really only has 2 bottles left.
Good deal.
But-
I'll take them both.
Oh, great. Well, here you go. Thanks. So
Thank you,
he tells
Silas.
you that he went out because he was going to make some more of this tonic, and when I went out to the garden to look for some herbs, it seems like somebody was tampering with my wife's, and I, even though she's not here anymore, I still call her my wife, even though am I considered a widower or a widow? I don't know, but somebody was messing around in her garden. And here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So he takes you out the back, the small back door that he's got back there, and he shows you several shrubs where they have been just trimmed down to basically the stalks. And he says now these are ruined. He says these will not grow anymore. They've basically killed these, and you can actually see on the ground where there's some clippings of some leaves and whatnot. And yeah, you guys can get anybody.
Are there any
Is anybody?
footprints around?
You can give
Are they
me
large or small?
give me a perception check for the footprints, and if you're proficient with any kind of nature skill, go ahead and give me a nature check as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check them out with nature.
Okay. All right, so the nature check, first off. Sarpy, you've seen this grow in several spots in the forests that you've been traveling through, and this is like a yew shrub, a yew as in Y-E-W, a yew shrub, and it's something that's used to get rid of the nauseating effects from drinking, but this plant is really toxic to horses and other animals and beasts and of the like. So, but as for the footprints, let's see, Arlo, sorry about that. You actually do find some footprints in the garden, and these footprints, they lead out of the garden to the north, where it looks like the tracks are kind of heading towards Old Parnast, the ruins of Old Parnast. But then Silas, he said, well, if you guys know how to make any of these remedies or whatnot, really the only thing that I really know how to use is this yew shrub for my wife's wake-up sauce recipe. So if you guys ever need to come here and make any kind of other concoctions or brews or potions, just stop by and I'll let you in through the back, and you guys can help yourself. And in fact, you can even use any of my wife's tools that she left as well. And you're always more than welcome to stop by. But I figured you might find that a little interesting. I don't know why anybody would, unless I know if anybody else is trying to sell my wife's wake up sauce. I know who's the one that was going to be stealing all of my herbs back here. Well, my wife's herbs. I guess they're my herbs now. So.
Do you know of anyone that's at these ruins? I've heard a little bit about them, but are there?
Well,
do you suspect refugees there? Or?
No, the refugees are
have you heard of
staying at
anything?
the stable. Now, the only ones that stay over at the ruins, and you actually know this, by the way, Shemgra. Remember when you guys came here for the first time with the caravan? Usually all of the caravans that stop in Parnast, the caravans usually stop and stay in the ruins of old Parnast.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys, for all of the follows tonight. Totally appreciate it. Welcome to the channel, guys and gals.
Well, if Sarpy here can find any of these bushes, if we make it out of town, we can certainly look to recover one or two of them, replenish your stock here. Keep yourself and your livelihood going.
Yeah, it seems like you actually know what these things are, Sarpy. If you're out in the wilderness and if you see any of these plants, if you see any of these yew shrubs, can you put a couple in a sack and bring them back to me so I can kind of plant those in this area?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple gold for bringing some back, and in fact I can actually give you some of the wake up sauce if you need it. Either or, your choice. And plus, you still have access to come and take whatever herbs you need anyway, so you guys are more than welcome to do that.
Do you have any healing potions in stock at the moment?
Healing potions, I don't know. Let's I don't even know what I really have. He goes in and looks like I have some perfume. He says somebody can use some perfume. It's probably that damn stable across the road anyway. Yeah, I've got a couple of healing potions. I've got 2. I got some holy water, and I've got an alchemist fire. I've got some ink. I've got some dyes. That's about it. Oh, some bath oils. I'll take. I think my wife was selling them for 75, but I'll tell you what. I'll take 40 gold for it.
Okay, I'll take. I'll take 1.
One what? Healing potion?
Yeah, the healing potion.
All right. Yeah, give me 45 for the healing potion.
Okay.
I'll take that alchemist fire. Help you get out of town faster.
Sure. I'll tell you what though, Shemgra, selling this wake up sauce. It's maybe this is my calling. Maybe this is my wife telling me to maybe stay and just sell this wake up sauce and sell it to other towns. Maybe sell it to the caravans that are traveling through Parnast here. I don't know. Something that I've been thinking. But I'll tell you what. But if you want to make me an offer on the shop here, I may entertain any offer, especially if you're going to be staying around Parnast for a little while. Sure, I'll entertain any offer.
If we can find a way to get all these people out of here, I'll at least consider it. Till then, I want nothing to do with all these humans around here.
Thanks, Faye. What do you mean get all the? Oh, you mean all of the refugees, all of the new people.
Getting a little crowded in here for my taste.
Oh, is it?
I liked it when it was a bit of a quieter town.
Yeah, it's the area's seen some better days. That's for sure.
So, how many of them alchemist fires you got there?
Looks like I just have 1, Shem. I'll give it to you for 40.
Yeah, I'll take it off your hands here.
All right. Barry and Airlo, you guys want any of this stuff?
No, I'm good. Health potion wise.
Now you guys, like I said, seeing that you guys agreed not to go to any other Adventures League games, and we're just going to keep those characters here, we'll also have some opportunities to spend some money on magic items and scrolls and anything else you need. So, plus I am putting together something for spending your downtime days too, and your renown points. I'm gonna put together a bunch of things that you can get. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I'm not waiting for Adventures League. I'm doing it myself.
Damn it.
That's what I like to hear.
No.
Oh, well, anyone else got anything to do with this old man here?
Old man, I'm only 45. Well, I take that back. I'm 55, but I've been 45 and holding for about 10 years now.
Oh, I think we're all done here. Did you want to go see the priestess, Sean?
Yeah, we can see if she knows of anything around, any happenings going around.
Sure. You guys go over to the shrine and you see the female half elf, Chandra Stoll. Pretty, average looking female. She is there at the shrine.
I'll ask her about the statue we brought, and if it's doing well. I don't know how the hell
Sure.
the statue doesn't do well, but
Yeah, she
got all
appreciates it.
installed, everything does well, yeah. And
Yeah, everything's
I'll
good.
ask her
Yeah.
if she's traveled or has heard of anything on the happenings going around the outskirts of Farnest.
I did a small pilgrimage for a week or so, about a month ago. But other than that, I've been here, and basically my main focus has been making sure that these refugees are keeping full bellies and not rebelling against the rest of the town. Just trying to keep the peace, as she kind of just gives you a smile and winks. And as she's, she is actually serving breakfast to the refugees that are kind of lined up there in the courtyard. Serving bread and some vegetables and also some fruits and whatnot. Couple of eggs.
You don't seem in need of anything then? Excellent.
No, we're getting by, that's for sure. I guess a couple of the farmers are a little worried that the orcs are going to attack Parnast, but as long as I've been here, we've been relatively safe, and it's there's pros and cons to being out in the middle of the nowhere, and one of the pros is the distance it is from everything else. So, we've been pretty fortunate not to have a lot of invading orcs and goblins in the past, so we haven't had that, which is nice.
Well, if you hear of any trouble brewing out there, we'd appreciate you telling us.
Oh, I will. I will for sure.
Make sure old Ragnar knows about it, and he'll get the information to us if we don't see it.
Will do. Oh, I'm sure. You're the golden boys of Parnast. I'm sure you'll be the first ones to know. Ragnar always talks so highly of you guys.
Oh, he pays, so he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, he's pretty generous to the temple as well. Even though he doesn't worship any deity in particular, he's still really generous, and the people see that, and the people respect that, and they like it. So, and plus it helps with these refugees as well. But he was doing that well before they came. So, but I'll let you know if there's anything that you need to know, if I hear anything, or if any of the other acolytes here at the temple, all three of us. All right, so as you guys are finishing up Chandra, and she actually gives you guys some bread and oh wow, she says, "Oh, so generous. Thank you, Shemgra. Thank you so much." So she gives everybody a sort of like a to-go lunch bag with some breads and fruits and stuff like that in it. Some nuts and a couple of like baked goods and stuff, a couple cupcakes. And as you guys are leaving the temple, all of a sudden you start to hear a couple of screams, actually. And kind of look around, and there's kind of looking around, and you see over by the back end of the stable, you see a couple of the farmers or the refugees kind of running away from the back of the stable.
It's got my ears. You guys want to run over and check it out?
Yeah, let's see what's
go.
up.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, so as you guys get over towards the back of the stable, I'm gonna get a token out, and I'm gonna kind of put an arrow down. You know how I like to put these arrows down.
That's a
As
lot
you guys
of arrow.
yeah, it is. As you guys get back to this area, there are several horses that are on the ground, basically. Well, not all of them. There's one horse that's kind of trembling on the ground. One of them's kind of going into a slight convulsion, maybe, and then there's another horse that's kind of falling down and kind of losing control of the back of its legs, and it's kind of just dragging its rear end around. But of course it is trying to stand up and whatnot. But it looks like there's 3 horses that are just, 2 are out, and none of them look dead yet, but they're laying on the ground.
I want to go up to
one
one of them that's the least the one that's moving the least, basically.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I want to look in his mouth, and I want to see if I detect any hints of that U.
Oh yeah. Very good. Why don't you give me a investigation check, if you're looking for that in particular, and you can actually add a +2 to that roll as well. And a couple of the farmers, their names is Wald and his son Enrin. These are a couple of the farmers that actually live here in Parnast, and they're the ones that usually they've been in charge of feeding all of the livestock that has been coming in with the refugees and whatnot. So, but their names are Wald and Enrin, and they're just standing there, and they don't know what the heck is going on, and they're like, we didn't do anything. We just were here, and we're feeding these horses, and then all of a sudden they just start falling over one at a time and start going into these convulsions and whatnot.
Do they still have the feed bags?
Yeah, they've come off though from the how they've been floundering around and writhing around. Yeah.
I'll inquire about kind of where they got the feed bags, or has anyone
Well,
else been around?
Everything's here. Everything's here at the stable. All that stuff's hanging up inside of the barn. And of course, there's a door over here on the back end of the stable, yeah. And you look inside, and there's all kinds of the feed bags and all kinds of horseshoes and tools and a small forge to kind of bend the horseshoes and whatnot. But as you're looking there, Sarpy, you do notice that there are several of the stems from that yew plant that's in the horse's mouth. Actually, looks like it's ingested some of it.
Somebody's been feeding these horses the yew, and it's poisonous to them. Somebody
The
did this on
yew?
purpose.
You talking about the University of Miami? Are you the yew?
No, it's dirty, but not quite that dirty.
Easy now, I'm a Hurricanes fan. Easy.
Shots fired.
I was a Hurricanes fan way before they even got good at football. Back in like the early 80s, I was a fan. Easy, you watch your mouth. I had to like someone besides Ohio State, so because we moved down here to Florida. So why don't you give me a medicine check, Sarpy, to see if you remember what would counter this poison. Because remember, these like I had told you earlier, these yew branches, this yew shrub is actually detrimental to beast, but then it's good for humans and humanoids. Yeah, you don't remember anything about any kind of antidote to cure this. As the horses it seems like one has actually stopped breathing in this time, and it looks like it's actually dead. One is breathing very shallow, and the other one that was kind of flopping up and flopping down. He is now down, but he's still trying to get up.
Can I go fetch the guy? Maybe the herbalist.
The guy
Doesn't.
oh yeah.
Follow his wife's recipes, but he doesn't know much. But it's worth a shot, though.
Yeah, Silo. Well, if anybody else has medical knowledge, you can see if you remember anything about this antidote as well. I guess it would be Malachi. You have skill in medicinal, right?
Yeah, Malachi's going to take a look at one of the horses, see if he can figure out what's going on.
Erlo, I think you do too, right?
Yeah, Erlo spent some time around the horses.
Yeah. Erlo, you can go ahead and get in on this medicine check as well. Holy crap. Malachi, you were just kind of scratching your head. You're going, I kind of swear I kind of remember reading about that, but Erlo with his awesome roll. Erlo, you know that these animals have definitely been poisoned, which is quite apparent. One of them is now dead, you've been able to ascertain. One horse is very close to death. It will probably die within the next probably 2 or 3 minutes. The other horse has about 10 minutes to live, and you know that this poison acts very quickly, and it's very highly toxic. Now, as for curing the 2 horses that are still alive, because one's dead, you know that there's a antitoxin that will work. And everybody give me a perception check in the tower really quickly. And you know that the antitoxin, even the antitoxin that's usually at the potion stores, or if you have any antitoxins, those usually work. That will counteract this poison for either beast or humanoids, even though the U acts differently for beasts than it does for humanoids. So, Barian, you remember over at Silas's store, you remember that he had a couple of these antidotes for sale. Because he was trying to pawn them off on you guys. So, well, not pawn them off. He was trying to sell them to you. So, but yeah, you remember that there was a couple over there.
I will make the dash to the store to retrieve them.
Okay, takes you about 30-45 seconds. The door's open. You burst in. Silas is eating his morning sausages. He says, Says the golden tankard was given out to. Do you want a plate? I brought an extra plate back, Barian. Feel free to help yourself. They had a run on sausages over at the golden tankard this morning. So Ragnar gave me a couple plates, and you're welcome to have one if you want. He goes, while you're running, you're out of breath.
I need the antitoxins you have over here. I believe they're up here on this shelf.
Oh, what do you need them for? You going out adventuring or something? Did you get any bites or anything?
Some horses have been poisoned. I got to get them back. How much do you need for them?
Oh, no. A couple of horses. He just runs right over and he grabs them off of the shelf and he says, just go ahead and take them. I'm not worried about it. Just make sure this horses are okay. Make sure the steeds are okay.
I'm headed out the door while he's still talking.
Sure. As you're running across the street, he yells to you, come back and have that sausage breakfast if you want it later. I'll leave it on the table.
I just kind of wave and keep on trucking.
All right, so you get back just in time, and with the help of Erlo, you get those antidotes administered into the horses. And a couple of minutes go by after you've basically you've jammed those potions down their throats. It seems like they're okay, but they're still down and out. It seems like they're still recovering. But the two farmers that were there, they have no clue what the heck happened. Wald and his son Enrin, which his son is just barely a teenager.
Is there a crowd gathered around or anything?
Yeah, sure. By this point, yeah, absolutely. There's probably about 20 or so of the refugees that are kind of gathering around. and you can hear some oohs and you can hear some ahs
I'd
as
like
people
to,
are saying, is it dead? Is it dead? Oh, Mommy, one of the horses are dead.
I'd like to survey the crowd to see if there's anybody standing around that looks out of place or taking.
Well, they all look out of
interest.
place. Well, yeah, there's about 30 of them there. They're all taking interest, but nothing out of the ordinary. It seems like everybody's just curious. And then after a couple of minutes, Gundolin comes out. And Gundolin says, "What's going on here?" And the two farmers, Wald and his son Enrin, they explain the situation to what's going on. And he says, "You have one job. I pay you to do one job." And he's kind of giving him a hard time. And he's like, "Well, we all we're doing is we're doing the job that you paid us to do. That one job that you're paying us to do." So he's starting to get a little feisty back to Gundolin. But Gundolin just started kind of giving it to him right off the bat. So, Barian, why don't you give me a perception check?
Roger. Wait, what?
Roger. Chandra Stoll, she also shows up as well. She sees if she can do anything for the horse, and then they put a large tarp, like a leathery tarp over the dead horse. One of the kids says, "Is that going to be dinner tonight, Mom?"
Yep.
So what else is everybody? Yeah, right. What is everybody else doing during all of this?
So guys, why would anyone want to poison some horses?
Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No.
Yeah.
Eliminate the ability to speed out of town.
And there's probably about a dozen other horses around town. Definitely a lot more livery than normal. There was just the cow before, but with all of the refugees here, they kind of pulled their cows and their horses into Parnast.
How many people would know that this stuff was poisonous to horses?
Who are you
You have
asking?
to know something about nature, I assume, or that, or herbs.
Who are you asking? Gundolin, or are you asking the farmer and his
I
son?
was asking the
or?
group, our folks.
Okay.
I'd imagine most of the farmers would know.
Does Gundolin seem as though he knows what's happening here?
He was actually kind of taken by surprise when he saw the three horses on the ground.
I mean, he understands that his horses were poisoned here, right?
Well, actually, they weren't his horses per se, but he was looking after them. So now he's going to have to compensate one of the farmsteaders from the area a new horse, which is quite expensive, especially in
I'll
a small
take
town
him
like
aside
this.
and question him a little bit as these guys do whatever they're doing.
Oh, Gundolin?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you get him. He's got like a mallet and a couple of long pikes, like spikes in his hand. He was you saw him working on a wagon earlier that was around the side of the stables. And you also saw his son earlier. He was using the lathe to make something. But that was probably, I don't know, I guess it would be probably about an hour and a half prior to the horse incident.
Well, they're repairing carts, I'm assuming, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says, I'm on this. I'm working. I'm trying to have a great day. I've got a couple of these carts that have been having problems over the last couple of weeks or so, and trying to teach my knucklehead son to make an axle, and then he disappears, and I have no goddamn clue where he's at. I got all this work to do.
Where?
Yeah, he just
When's the last time you saw him?
I don't know, probably about an hour ago. He's probably off playing grab ass with old Ragnar's daughter. He's probably out in the woods playing grab ass. I don't know. Kid's got his priorities wrong, Shemgra, I'm telling you.
Well, I'm gonna let you know. I mean, you got a dead horse and two pretty sick ones here. Who had access to your horse's feed?
I mean, it's anybody can have access to it. I've got all kinds of people sleeping here at the stables that they're not paying me for. So I mean, it could have been anyone. But I mean, I've got Walden the son, Enrin there. That, you know, I've actually commissioned them to take care of the horses around town. And he kind of points over towards a couple of the other buildings here in Parnas, and you can actually see between the buildings there's some other horses that are, you know, tied to some posts and stuff that were rammed into the ground to hold the horses there. And he says that's the only thing that I've commissioned to do, and I don't, and he can't even do that. So I guess I'm gonna have to do this myself now too. So sorry if I seem a little bit frustrated this morning, Shem, but I am, because now I'm gonna have to spend a bunch of gold on a horse for someone that I don't even know.
Well, who would benefit?
It is quite a shame.
Poisoning these horses.
Who would poison them? I don't know. It's probably, I don't know if it's Ragnar, but I just don't trust Ragnar. I don't think he would do it. I don't know why, or I don't know what his motive would be to do that, but I mean, it could have been him. I don't know. I just like the carts. You know, granted, yeah, I give the villagers a discount, and most of the money that I make is off of the caravans that are passing through. But all this work, you know, at a discounted price, I'm almost losing money working on these carts all the time. They keep having tires broken. Well, wheels broke. Tires. That's about a long way away before we see rubber tires and whatnot. But these wheels and these axles are just being snapped like twigs. And these things are not easy to make. It's not like I have a whole, you know, storage rack full of axles. I mean, every wagon is freaking different, so I have to build custom axles for every single wagon that comes through here. I don't know. Yeah, it's so goddamn hot in this town right now. And he pulls, just like I'm doing right now, I'm wiping off he pulls that handkerchief out of his pocket, and he says, it's so goddamn hot around here.
I was waiting for it to be hot.
It's hot as hell. You have no clue how hot it is right now. And you can see that his shirt is drenched and sweat's beating off of his face, off of his arms, and he says, this is hot as hell. I hope you're having a better day, though, my friends. I'll tell you what, I'll give you some gold if you can find out who poisoned this horse. If you find anything out, let me know. Let me know before you go and tell your boss Ragnar. I'll make it worth your while. I'll give you 80 gold apiece to shed the information on me, because I want to know what's going on. This is costing me money. It's costing me money to fix these damn wagons. And if you see my son anywhere, you tell him to quit playing grab ass with that Elspeth chick. And you tell him that I need his damn help over here at the stables. Damn kids, they just don't have their priorities in order, Shemgra. Jesus.
Maybe we should go check with Ragnar and see if he knows where his daughter is.
Oh, you could probably do that. I have no clue. But I think something's going on. It seems like Ragnar, it seems like he's putting the blame on everything on me. And I just don't like it.
Well,
you know what poison?
A lot.
Who, me? Of course I
Yeah,
complain, because I'm getting the blame for everything. Why wouldn't I complain about it? Jesus, have you been stricken with Ragnar's charm and his free food and his free drinks?
No,
I can see you're probably on his size too. Well, I'm offering to pay you too.
Yeah, but you bitch when you pay. So.
Hey, this is how I see it, Shemgra. I'm a businessman, all right? Money talks and bullshit walks. That's my motto.
Bullshit, so get walking, boy.
You're on my property. You get walking.
I know.
Tell me to get off my own property. How dare you, half-orc?
Oh, once you find a boy that'll actually help you here. Let's see if we can find your boy. You can't keep track of your own asshole.
Hey, I'm telling you, that kid is going to knock that girl up, and then I'm going to have to play father all over again while he's still playing grab-ass with that red-tooth chick.
Why don't
Jesus.
you give the son of yours a beating or two? Maybe he'd start listening to you.
That's where I probably messed up. That's what I should have probably did when he was a kid.
Well, you got a mallet. Use it.
Don't give me any ideas, Shemgra. Don't give me any ideas.
I grew up fine. A couple of good beatings for a young boy. He ought to know who he should listen to.
Yeah. Well, should give him a good beating when he gets back. I mean, he's amazing. He's in his 20s. It's not like I can't discipline him like these little snotheads that are running around my stable, pissing and shitting on everything.
What kind of kids are over here?
Bunch of hoodlums, I'm telling you.
Them farmers' kids are used to just going out in the yard.
I just think that, and another thing, since I'm getting on a rant and a roll here, I really honestly think that everybody in Parnas should probably relocate to the old part of town. I mean, it's more formidable, it's more defensive, but Ragnar thinks his holy warriors, his militiamen, his farmers and other drunks of Parnas are going to defend our village against these orcs or this bad fool or something that's supposed to be charging through here, killing everyone and putting our heads on stakes. I just don't agree with his choices. I just think he's overconfident, and I think his overconfidence is going to get all of us killed. If I wasn't so invested here, I'd probably pull out like some of the other people here.
Doesn't seem like anybody's doing too much pulling out around here.
Well, probably should have did that with walls.
Another thing you should teach your boy how to do.
Hey, I've had that talk with him. I told him that they're all evil, and I told him he shouldn't even worry about women until he's 30, and then he could screw up his life.
Well, you know how to go.
Yeah. So feel free to take a look around if you want. If you find out what those horses suffered from, let me know. I'll give you guys. And if you guys hear anything else, let me know. Keep me in the loop. I know you're gonna go and run and tell your buddy Ragnar, old Ragnar Redtooth. And he pulls out his towel and wipes his face again. And he says, like I said, I'll give you 80 gold apiece. Hell, I'll even give you 100 gold apiece to keep me in the loop, if you know what I mean. And he gives you a wink and a slap on the butt there, Shemgra. Hey!
He good gamed you.
Just
Yeah, it
take
is,
that
Jojo.
mallet to that boy next time you see him. He'll start listening. He won't run off so easy. We find him, we'll send him your way. And if we hear anything, I'll
Thanks,
expect to be
Fatrol.
paid.
Thanks the bits, bud. Thanks for the bits. Hell, I'll keep my ears open. Hey, feel free to have a look around. Go wherever you need to. All right, guys. So, what say you? And then, and then as Gundolin is walking away, he says, "Moradin bless me. I'm surrounded by liars and fools.
Well, we might want to check out the carts. He said the carts themselves just keep breaking. There was nothing to go along with those, but maybe if you guys want to check out, I don't know if you can determine who did the feed thing by looking at where they're at. It doesn't seem like any of them saw anyone do anything, but
Yeah, if you guys want to look around the stable, everybody that's looking around the stable, inside the stable, all that good stuff, why don't you guys give me an investigation check?
Definitely want to check out inside the stable.
All right. So I've sent a message out, and if you guys hear the ping sound, that means that you probably have a message down in chat. I wish you guys could ping me. That would be awesome. Because sometimes when players send me messages, I don't see them because I'm concentrated on running the game. So, but there you go. One of you found something a little out of the ordinary.
Hey,
inside of the barn. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Take a look at this. As I'm like fighting to get a bag out from behind a crowded workbench at the back of the shop, you see me pull out a bag that has a pair of pruning shears, some pine needles, and some red berries inside of it. What do you make of this, guys?
Little kid
like a
comes up
bag
to you and
full of
says, "Hey, what do you got there, mister? What are you doing? What are you pulling that bag out? Does it got some candy in it?"
No
is
candy.
this just one of the farmers' kids?
Yeah, a little snot-nosed kid got like dried boogers all over his face and stuff.
I'll look over at the Gundren and say, "This is how you take care of these little shits," and give them a swat in the ass and tell them to get out of here.
Hey, I'm gonna tell my dad on you. You're gonna
Go ahead,
regret
do
you
that.
even did
Let him
that.
Come on over and see me. And
God,
get the hell out of here, you little shit.
You shut up. You're ugly, and your mom dresses you funny too. And he just kind of runs off around the building, and he kind of looks back around. Sorry about that, Malachi.
That's all right. Can I identify these red berries that I pulled up?
No, that wasn't RC. Yeah, why don't you give me a medicine check? Well, actually, give me a nature check, Malachi. Sarpy, where are you at, bud?
Yeah, I'm gonna check out these shears themselves. I want to see if these might have been used to cut down this yew bush.
Okay. Yeah, you see Malachi messing around with these berries, and yeah, this is definitely looks like these pruning shears, because there's like traces of the yew shrub and all of the the branches and stuff that are kind of caught into where the clip that kind of holds the shears together there in the middle. Yeah, you can definitely tell. There's some bags and some other pieces of the shrub that's in the bag.
I'll say this is where they got the poison from for sure. Maybe we should ask around and see if anybody saw anybody with this bag.
Yeah, nice.
That's a good idea.
Nice snag. Oh yeah, I like that idea. Very nice. I like that. So who are you guys asking? Just like the villagers? Well, the refugees
I'll walk
and stuff
around inside
there?
the barn here and maybe even just ask some of the kids or whoever's in here if anybody saw anybody come in with this bag.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, but that ugly guy right there, he just hit me, and I'm gonna tell my dad. Unless you got a piece of candy or something, I may be able to ignore it. But yeah, I saw somebody messing with that bag a little while ago. He was working on the bench there. Some guy in like these leathery over jacket, and he had a bow, and he was one of them. Looks like he had pointy, sort of, I guess you could say pointy ears, like one of those tree hugging elves.
Tor.
That's who I saw. Tor? No, Tor. What are you talking about? I didn't tear anything.
I'll turn to the rest of the group and say Tor. He's describing Tor.
Oh yeah, Tove. Yeah.
Tove, rather. Yeah.
I didn't tear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. So, are you going to give me some candy, or are you going to give me like maybe a silver to where I can go over to the general store? I told you everything that I saw, mister.
Yeah, I reach into my pocket and pull out my hand like I'm going to give him some candy. And when he goes to take it, I smack him in the face and be like, "Get out of here!"
Wow! Give me wow! Wow! Well,
I don't
you
like
guys,
your attitude, kid.
You guys are a bunch of dicks.
That we are, son.
Yeah, some heroes you guys are. You guys are a bunch of dicks. I'm telling my dad, and he's gonna kick all of your butts.
Why don't you go do that? Anyway,
I'm gonna bring his
let's go
dad
see if
back
we can
later.
find Tove. I got a few questions for that guy.
I think it's gonna be his dad's gonna be Ragnar.
You say you found some tracks out by those yew shrubs over by Silas's place?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you guys
You
are
could follow
dicks.
those things?
Yeah, I could follow him. But, I saw him, I happened to see him leaving this morning out the back door of the Golden Tanker. We might save some time by starting there.
Okay, that was interesting. Wonder why you'd be leaving by the back door.
Well, I didn't think much of it at the time, but now I'm kind of curious myself.
I'm just waiting for the back door jokes to start coming up now. Just waiting.
I was letting someone else have them.
Thanks, Faye. I appreciate it, man. So you guys notice that all of the townsfolk here in Parnas, both the townsfolk and the refugees, they seem to be frightened. Some of them have their heads down, and they're going around doing their daily chores here in Parnas. A lot of the talk that's going on is a little hush hush and whatnot. One of them actually kind of cringes at the sight of your presence, because you see a familiar face. The kid with a big red slap, a big fist or an open hand mark on his face. You see him hiding around a woman that seems like she's one of the refugees, and she just kind of gives you like an evil looking glare as you walk by, and she just kind of puts her finger up and just kind of waves it at you, and she's pointing towards you, Shemgren, and pointing towards you, Sarpy.
I kind of shake my shoulders like, what are you going to do?
I'll be walking behind him and going, "That wasn't me," and I'll point to Sarpy.
Thanks again, Faye.
It was him. One thing to pick on a kid, you don't piss off his mama.
You know what she says? Some heroes of Parnas you guys really are. And then she spits on the ground. And she says, "Come on, son. Don't waste your time with these fake heroes." And she spits on the ground a second time.
We'll see about
Just
that.
make sure and keep him close. This town gets attacked. I don't want to see you leaving that kid lay around as you run for safety.
She says, "Oh," and she just kind of ushers him right into the stables. Don't look at him. She's covering his face up with the palm of her hand, and she's still looking back. And as she's rushing him in, she rams him into the side of the door and face first.
Got a red mark on the other cheek now.
Yeah, and you can hear him. Yeah, he starts to cry, "Mommy, you hit me!" And she just, "Oh, honey, it's okay," and ushers him into the stable. Oh gosh.
We better go check out that inn. If he poisoned these horses, he might have put something in the food back there too. They were feeding sausages to God knows everyone eat them as a dry heat
Well,
sausages.
they knew that you were a huge sausage fan, so they cooked a bunch up. Unfortunately, you were nowhere to be seen when they were being served. I think you might have strategically
I got an
planned
inkling
that.
Malachi had something to do with that rumor floating around town.
Yeah. So we'll say that you guys are heading. You guys said you're heading back over towards the Golden Tankard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to Ragnar about this this scout he's hired. See how trustworthy he is.
Yeah, very
Seems as
good.
though he's up to no good.
All right. We'll say that you guys spend about another 3 or 4 hours kind of helping with the palisades around Parnast, training some soldiers. Malachi, you've almost shot a couple of the militiamen as you're training them. Sarpi, they all look to you for guidance. Arlo, you've been helping with like melee and stuff. And we'll go ahead and we'll end the game for tonight. And then when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll start at the Golden Tankard again, as it will be middle afternoon by this point. So, and we'll pick it up in 2 weeks. So, thanks guys.